Hello, everyone, and welcome to An Hour with Dave, a straight shooting talk show that doesn't hold anything back. You either love the show, hate the show, love me, hate me, doesn't matter, but it's the show you want to watch. 1 Hour with Dave. I had here Mojica, if everybody remembers, who did 30 years in prison and wound up doing more time than the actual person that committed the crime. We all remember that. But this is another side of the avenue here, and I want to get into explaining this because I'm trying to get everybody to understand that it's the system that we're allowing to do this to our family members. It's a system that's corrupt that we're allowing to pursue and do things wrong. Of course, we know, and we're going to get into it with Rosemary here, where her son is in there for life without a chance of parole. Um, and it's the system that, if I'm reviewing the case, the system is hurting her. The system is what's hurting her son, because we'll get into more on it, but I need everybody to understand and closely pay attention to what's going on, because we can change this. We have an election coming up, and every year, and every election, I should say, we vote on different people, different positions: city council, state reps, congressmen, senators, presidency, governors. Every election we do different thing, including the DA in every state. And this is where the problem has to start, because we don't hold anybody accountable for what they do. If you go to work and your job says that you have to do a specific job and you don't do it, you're out of there. But in politics and in certain positions that you get voted in, there's no accountability. If you screw up or you burn somebody or an organization, very, very rare you are held accountable for something. And that's the problem. Hispanics are being screwed. I keep saying it to everybody. I said it before and I'm saying it again. You're being screwed. Okay? So here's what's going to happen. We're going to break down why this system failed. Joseph? Why the system failed, Joseph, is where we're going to go into with this story and what we need to do. Because you can say it was the lawyers, it was this, it was that. I'm going to break down why. What happened here that failed this young man? Because everybody knows that everybody in prison says, I'm innocent. Everybody's innocent in prison. Cool. But there is a number of people in the prison system who really are innocent. And we need to take responsibility, because we're not holding people accountable. We're not holding our Congress people, our state reps, our senators, our councils, city council. We're not holding nobody responsible. We're taking, and they're using us, and it's both political sides. Don't sit here, and because the Democrats are going to say the white people and the Republicans, and the Republicans are going to say the liberal communists or whatever. It's both parties. I keep saying it to you over and over again that both parties do it. So let's go on and let's meet Rosemary.
Hi guys, my name is Rosemary Valentin. This is my son, Joseph Irue, aka Joey. That's how everybody knows him by Joey.
Okay, and Joey has been in jail now for how long?
It's gonna be 12 years, August 25th.
12 years.
Yes.
Joey was accused of
A murder, attempted murder.
murder or attempted murder?
Both. Murder and attempted murder.
Okay. Now, Joey's case, when I was looking at it, went on for quite a while. Okay? Because the first time Joey was in front of a judge
For preliminary hearing.
for preliminary hearing, that case was actually thrown out.
It was thrown out. So the judge said he didn't find anything that this kid had nothing to do with the murder.
Okay. And then,
The DA.
no, wait a minute.
Okay.
And then the judge gave the DA supposedly 24 hours?
Not that judge. He didn't use the
No,
DA.
no.
Okay.
The judge that found him they didn't have enough evidence. He threw out the case.
Right.
And then after that, another case came up.
Another judge.
Another judge.
He asked another judge if he could
Right.
reopen the case.
To reopen the case. That judge reopened it.
Yes, he gave him 24 hours to reopen it.
He gave him 20. So he went from the judge that found him not having evidence.
Right.
The
Threw
DA,
away the case.
Threw away the case. To now another judge that overruled what that judge says that there was enough evidence and gave him 24 hours to come up with a whole new one.
Yes.
Okay, but here's what I'm trying to tell people. Listen to where the system starts to fail. Okay? Now, he had 24 hours. Then what happened? He went in 24 hours, he showed
So
up.
they gave him the permission to reopen the case.
Right?
So they reopened the case. And it was maybe like 3 to 4 years after that, we went to trial.
3 to 4 years, he sat there waiting for the case.
Yes.
Okay.
We went to court maybe like 50 to 60 times before anything was done. They didn't have enough evidence. They wasn't ready.
Okay. And after 3 or 4 years, then the trial actually started.
Yes.
Okay. And then what happened? Was that the final time that the case went on?
Well, that was the final time, and it was a hung jury for the first trial.
The first one was a hung jury.
Hung jury.
So the first judge said didn't have enough evidence.
But it was the jury. He had a jury.
Right. And then the second one was the jury. The first one was a preliminary, said there was enough evidence.
Right.
Okay. The second,
trial. It was a pre-trial and trial.
Okay. Pre-trial, trial. Now on the trial, the first trial, it was a hung jury. And then they came after him a third time. A second time. Well, it's actually a third.
It was a preliminary.
Right.
And then trial, then trial.
Right.
So it was preliminary hearing.
Right. So that's actually the third time.
Okay.
Now, on the second one was a hung jury.
The first one.
The first one.
Yeah.
Well, you're saying first one. To me, it's the second one. The first one that was a trial, preliminary trial, was a hung jury.
Okay, no. The first pre-trial, they threw away the case. When we went to trial, it was a hung jury. Then the second trial, they found him guilty.
Okay.
Because preliminary hearing means they want to see if they have enough evidence to take it to trial.
Right.
So that's what the case was thrown out. That's when we went the first time to trial. It was a hung jury. And the second time, he was found guilty.
Okay, now on this hung jury, was he still left in prison?
Yes.
So even with not having enough evidence, with a hung jury, the man is still in prison.
The man is still in prison.
Without even being found guilty yet.
Right.
Ain't this some I'm not going to say it, all right? All right, I'm going to be cool. So it took him actually all these stages to come up with finding him guilty, right? What kind of lawyer did he have?
Well, we did have a paying lawyer for the preliminary hearing, but people think that this is easy. No, this is not easy. Once you're found guilty or not guilty, then you have to, let's say guilty, now you have to run and find another lawyer. They'll give you maybe 10 days in order to get a lawyer. So that's $15,000. Now you got to find another $25,000. After that, you have to find another $25,000. I didn't have the resources to get another lawyer, so they gave him a public defender.
Okay, so now
that was friends with the DA at that. They were friends.
So the public defender was friends with the DA,
yes.
And your son was held all this time. One judge, not enough evidence. The other one, hung jury, still left in jail.
And that one was found guilty.
And then the last time he was found guilty.
Yeah.
Okay, but all this time they were giving him time to build this so-called case against him.
It took her like 7 years in order
7 years to build this case against him.
They didn't have no evidence. They didn't have nothing against him.
Okay, all right, and You got a public defender.
Hmm.
So
He never subpoenaed.
okay, I was gonna get to that.
Right.
What
Okay.
did he interview any witnesses?
Nope. None. He never
Did
subpoenaed nobody
he
to court.
did he bring witnesses in?
Nope.
Did he interview the witnesses from the prosecutor?
Nope.
Did he meet with anybody in the case at all, including you?
Nope.
Did he meet with your son?
Never. He said he was. Never did.
So he never met with your son about this case
Nope.
till the day the court came.
That's when he first met him.
That's when he first met him. So this guy comes flying out of the blue,
Yep.
flying out of the blue, and never met your son,
Never.
and your son's life in his hands,
Yep.
and he did
Threw
nothing.
Threw it in the trash like if it was nothing.
That he did nothing.
Nothing.
So I'm back to this. I'm not saying that the person that worked for the DA's office was wrong or was right.
Right.
He or she is doing their job.
Right.
They're going to come after you as long as you let them,
Yeah.
as long as your lawyer, who's supposed to be defending you,
Yep.
stops the train.
Right.
Hold up a second. How long? In any other case, you get so many times to try somebody. If you can't, it's out the door.
Yep.
The system. You see what I'm saying about the system? Because he knew the DA. You said he knew the DA.
Yeah, he knew the DA. I never understood it till today when you explained it to me. I was like, wow, he makes so much sense when you explained it to me this morning. I'm like, he makes so much sense that I'm probably blaming the wrong person. Because maybe the DA didn't fail me or my son. It was the system because they allowed it to happen.
Yeah. Well, first of all, there's a misjudge. There's an injustice here. How do you defend a man who's facing life without parole and never?
Plus, they gave him years and top for a gun that was never retrieved.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you see, but how do you defend somebody that you never even met, who has been in the system in jail for how many years before his trial came up?
Maybe 6 or 7.
6 or 7 years. So he was 6 or 7 years,
Just sitting
and his lawyer did not have one day to meet your son. That's not the DA. That's the system that allowed this breakdown and injustice to happen. Whether or not, and I don't mean it to be cruel, your son was guilty or not guilty, the system didn't give him you're innocent until proven guilty, but how can you be proven innocent if your lawyer doesn't pop up?
And I kept telling him, but you're not questioning these witnesses, but and he's like, no, let's leave it alone. Let's leave it alone. And I'm like, leave it alone. Come on, you gotta fight this.
And this lawyer knew the lawyer from the DA's office. Okay. So, right. Oh my God. You know what, people? Ray Charles. If anybody who Ray Charles is, Ray Charles can see that this sucks. I want to use other words. We're going into 2 minutes. We got to break our segment, and then I'm going to get a little deeper in how screwed up our system is. What's happening with your son? What's happening with the system? And we have an election coming up.
Yeah.
And we're responsible. And we have political officials who have ignored this situation. And if you really, truly want justice, it has to come from the people. We can no longer accept what every political person and responsible person that voted in just does at random. It cannot be accepted anymore. When we come back, we're going to get into your son's case a little deeper.
Yeah.
And we're going to get into what's happening here. But you know who I blame? I blame the people. And I blame the boss in the DA's office. because that's where it all came from. That's where it starts from.
Mm.
Okay?
Yep.
And I'm going to get into with you, I want to get into after this on the second segment,
Okay.
how many political people you actually tried to reach.
Yep.
How many political people just ignored you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And, you know, because I'm sure on the other side, if we be understanding the victim, his family, in the beginning, may would have felt one way, maybe I told another story. Well, you and I are going to get into all these little details.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I want people to start to understand how I see the breakdown. So let's take a commercial break, and we're going to be back in 30 seconds. Everybody grab a cup of coffee or something, because this is going to be hot when you start seeing. And grab some tissues if you want.
Yeah.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt US Kids, and the Ad Council.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, groan-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to An Hour with Dave, a straight shooting talk show that doesn't hold anything back. You either love the show, hate the show, love me, hate me, doesn't matter, but it's the show you want to watch. 1 Hour with Dave.
From where this happened.
Welcome back, everybody, to An Hour with Dave. I want to make it specifically clear to everybody. Any information, any opinions is mine and my guest. It's not the opinion of USALA Media. So you don't like what I got to say? It's okay. You love me, you love me. You hate me. I can live with it either way around. But somebody has to get this story out. So we stop what's happening to the Latinos in this damn country.
Yes.
Stop collecting food stamps. Stop worrying about a damn stimulus check so you can buy a flat screen TV, and start paying attention to what's happening to your kids in these streets. Because this is not the first time. It's going to continue to happen till you stop laying at home, playing video games, watching TV, and whatever else you're doing, and pay attention to what's happening to our kids out there. I don't think anybody says that everybody is innocent. No. But our kids are dying in the streets. Our schools are closed. We got people dying in Kensington. This is getting ridiculous. Let's get back to what's happening here before my producer throws something at me. Okay.
Come on, guys, let's keep sharing. Let's keep sharing.
Okay, so he's been in there for how long now?
12 years. It's
12
going to
years.
be 12 years in August 25th.
Okay, he's been there for 12 years. Now, let me ask you this. Did you go to your Congress? No, not your Congress. Let's start lower, right? Did you go to your city council person?
I did.
What happened with that city council person?
so-
12 years. So 12 years, did you go to your city council person?
So for the first year, let's say for the first month, I did go to him. They did help me with the first lawyer. I mean, I had
City
to pay
council.
for it. Angel Cruz. Is it okay if I say that name?
Okay.
So I went there.
The Angel Cruz is not city council. He's a state rep.
Oh, well, I don't know. Then I went to him.
City council is whoever is representing you in City Hall. For example, in this area right now, it's Maria Quinones.
Okay, so I did go to her. I went to her, spoke to her. I told her my situation. She told me, oh, I know this DA myself. He's my friend. Give me your number, and I will have a talk with him and see what's going to happen. I'm still waiting for the call 12 years later.
Okay.
And actually, the guy, one of the news people from Channel 65 was there, and I told them, look, we're gonna do a rally tonight. You guys should come. Don't worry, we'll be there. We'll be there. Never showed either.
Okay. So you went to city council,
I did.
and you're still waiting.
I'm still waiting
Okay.
for a call.
Then you went to your state rep, was Angel.
It was Angel.
Okay.
And he did refer me to a lawyer. That's the lawyer that threw away the case. That fought and threw away the case. Okay. After that,
The lawyer that what? Say that
that
again.
threw away the case because they said they didn't find no evidence that my
Okay.
son had
That's
anything.
the first. That's the one
That's
that
the
you actually
future
have
item.
money to pay for.
Yes,
Okay.
I actually have money to pay. You're right.
Okay.
So we went to court maybe like in like 3 months after that. I'm not sure, or maybe a year. But then I went back to him to ask for more help. I said, look, I need more help. I went in there to the office like for a whole year trying to ask for help. And I was sitting down waiting for him. He just went by, didn't look at me, went back, didn't look at me, went back, this was almost every single day. I was desperate looking for help because my son is 150% innocent. He had nothing to do with this.
Okay.
So then a secretary of his pulls me to the side and tells me, Mama, I feel you. I cry with you. But please don't come back. Don't come back because he's not going to help you. I never went back. Never went back.
Okay. Let me ask you this: did you vote for them?
No.
Okay.
Sorry, but no.
No, I'm asking: did
Yeah,
you vote for them?
No.
Okay. Because that would be the epitome
Right.
if you continue to vote for
Yeah,
them.
right. Uh-huh.
Okay. Now, did you go to the mayor or the governor?
I didn't. I actually went to the DA's office many times.
Okay, but who was the DA
The DA,
for the very first
I believe it
time
was
he
Seth
went?
Williams. Seth Williams.
Step Williams.
Okay, so
Step ain't there now anymore. You
no,
know that, right?
because he was incarcerated. Okay. So, okay, I went. So I spoke to the person in front, and he tells me, "What are you here for?" I explained a little bit. Oh, well, you gotta call his secretary. I said, "Okay." Spoke to the secretary, like for a good maybe 45 minutes. Blah blah blah. I was telling her the story. Oh my God, yes, wow. Oh well, you know what? I'm gonna try to help you. Never got an answer back. Okay, went back again. The same thing. La 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 la. Still waiting for the phone calls. Went back when Krasner was in, maybe twice. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna have him call you, or somebody's gonna be calling you from the office. Still waiting for the phone call.
Okay. That was in your DA. And you never tried to reach the governor.
No.
Well, I got to tell you, everyone, I was shocked because a matter of a few weeks ago, and I could ask my producer when it actually was. We had a gentleman here named Mojica. And after I got to meet him, he did 30 years because he had life without parole also. He did 30 years. And finally, the governor here, Wolf, actually pardoned him. Okay? But here's the kicker. I believe if anybody's out there, whoever's out there, I want you to Google how many Hispanics have been pardoned in Philadelphia by a governor. And you're going to be shocked to know that you only need about 2 of your fingers in your hand to know how many Hispanics have been pardoned. I believe it's only 2, right?
Right.
2 in how many years? Mojica was the second Hispanic pardoned. So that means every Hispanic who's in prison is guilty, forget it, no matter what.
Yep.
Because the governors before Wolf didn't really give a shit. I'm sorry. He's scratching his head already because he knows what I'm going to get ready to do. So the governor right now doesn't know your story.
I believe not.
Okay? So this is somebody that could be revisited, was the governor. And he seems to be fair. Okay? So the governor has to be looked at. As far as city council, as far as anybody else, the state reps, we got to figure out what we're doing because we're allowing too many things to happen. If you're blaming our kids for being out there, but you don't give an option, why can't our kids, instead of having no options who are Hispanic, can't get a job with the sanitation department? You want them to do something, but the options are not there. You know, Puerto Ricans can pick up a damn trash bag and throw it in the truck. But how many Puerto Ricans have them jobs? We got a state rep and we got 2 state reps because I'm going to tell you, Daniel Burgos is a very fair man.
You know what? And I was watching a flyer from him that I just got him the mail, and I'm like, I never thought of speaking to this man. I said, I just put it down.
No, Daniel Burgos is a very fair man. He really, he tries his hardest. I am a 44-year Republican, and I have the ultimate respect for Daniel Burgos as a Democrat. He's a very fair man. Okay? So you could take him aside. Because if he tells you he's going to try to do something or look into something, he will do it. Whether it's the outcome you want or not, he will do it. He won't ignore something like this. Okay? But we need to understand that we have let go of too much. I want everybody to look out their window on trash day and count how many Puerto Ricans are making that kind of money picking up a trash bag. But no, our kids are going to jail. Our kids are dying in the streets. Our kids have no choice but to sell drugs because they don't got anything else. The system is not there to work for them. Wake up, damn it.
Yep. You're absolutely.
The system is not there. How many people like your son is caught up in this system that's not working? We need to we got an election coming up, damn it, and start waking up and stop acting stupid. We got some questions coming. You're shaking your head. I'm doing it again, ain't I?
There you go. That's right. I'm telling you, we spoke this morning, and I never understood in these 12 years until he explained it the way he did, and I'm like, wow, you know what? It makes so much sense. The system is the one failing us.
The system.
They're allowing all this stuff to happen. They're not doing nothing about it. They're just crossing, all right, another kid incarcerated for something he didn't do. It's okay. Let's cross our hands. Next. It has to stop. If it's happened to mine that I thought it would never happen, it can happen to yours.
Or they can die in the street. I lost my son to drugs. Same scenario. It ain't nothing out there. There's kids dying in the street all the time. It's not only the injustice here, it's the injustice because they have nothing else. How many Hispanics went through a damn training years ago to become nurses' aides and work it? You're going to have a career in a doctor's office and you're going to be hands-on with patients. What they fail to tell you is there's 3,000 or 4,000, 5,000 of you, if not more, going to a class to learn how to be a nurse's aide for only maybe 30 jobs. The system plays games with our people. We got anybody out there? You said we got questions? Go ahead. No, I'm going to tell you something. My opinion. Do you want to answer? Or you want me to?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Anybody doesn't know their congressman and you vote for him next time, you're the stupid ass. Okay? Because you go to vote, and then before you get in the building, you got everybody running to you. And then they'll say to you, we're voting this way. Well, who the hell is we? It's my vote. It's your vote. What do you mean we? What if I don't like that guy? You know how many Democrats I can't tell you that I voted for in my 44 years as a Republican. Okay? Because in the primary, you vote your party for the best guy, you or man or woman, who you think is going to represent you best. And in November, you're supposed to pick out of the people that are left that you think is the best person, regardless of their height, weight, color, religious background, or whatever. You're supposed to vote for the person you think is best. That's why there's a curtain behind you that closes, because it's your business what you do. And when you have people coming up to you telling you, this is the way we're doing this, that's not asking, because you're not stupid. If you're there to vote, you should be able to read and understand. There's 2 damn questions coming up in this election. Does anybody out there know how many people we got on the waiting? 46 people waiting right now, and it's still going. How many of you know what questions are coming up in the next election? But when you get there, they're going to tell you whether they want you to vote yes or no. You don't know if that's the best thing for you or for your son or for the next DA. You're about to vote for a DA. Does anybody realize that you're also going to vote for Pennsylvania's Supreme Court? Do you want the same clowns that are running the DA's office now be the one to vote and be in your Supreme Court? Or do you want somebody in favor of the people that are running it now that are screwing us? Or do you want to take the important step of finding out which one of these all these candidates, regardless of what party they're from, is going to take care of us? And people like her son. Don't listen to what somebody's telling you. Read, have meetings, get together in your houses. Bring groups together, bring your family together that vote and say, listen, these are all the candidates, this is what they stand for. And then when you go to vote and they come running over to you, you say, excuse me, can you step out of my way? Because you're in it, I'm about to vote. You got something for her? This is getting...
You know, it's getting serious when I had to turn on the mic. All right, so you're getting a lot of support, people. Yeah. Please like and share. You know, supporting your son, Kodak Black, which is minister. I forgot his name, Pastor. I'm pretty Pastor Phil, right?
Right.
He's saying this is not first degree murder case. I can't believe how they allowed this in our country, and we say that we are better than others.
Well, they say that we are better than others. But justice, is it justice or injustice? Mm-hmm. In this case, we need to find out. We need to open it up. We need somebody to come in here. We need an advocacy group. You're out there. Everybody Google advocacy groups. Find out who they are and bombard their phones about this. And stop the nonsense. Because until you do it, they're going to keep suckering you, taking advantage of you. Mm-hmm. This case needs to be brought to the public. Needs to. Remember, 3 weeks ago, we had somebody in here, and he was in another part of the building of the person that was shot. He admits he went in there to have a rob, to steal. Okay? And then something happened, and the guy got shot. He wasn't the trigger person. He wasn't in the room where the shooting went on, but he got 30 years to life while the other guy got out in 15 and 20.
He was incarcerated with my son.
Huh?
He was incarcerated.
He was incarcerated with your son. There you go. There you go. Yeah. We're going to take a quick break, and we're coming back, and we're going to talk some more about what's happening here. Hello, everyone, and welcome to An Hour with Dave, a straight shooting talk show that doesn't hold anything back. You either love the show, hate the show, love me, hate me, doesn't matter, but it's the show you want to watch. 1 Hour with Dave. All right, welcome back, everybody, to An Hour with Dave. And I know there's a lot of people having a lot of questions. What can we do? What do we need to do? It can't stop here. We need to start with this case, and we need to take it further. And we need to find out how many cases like this is happening.
I was gonna say that.
And we need to stand up for every single individual. And I'm not talking only Hispanics. If you see an injustice with any person, it's a human being. If it's an injustice, we need to stand up to it, regardless. So, you're gonna go in there now, and you're gonna start a whole new fight, correct?
Well, that's what I'm trying to do. The thing is, I haven't found the correct lawyer. I did go to a couple of lawyers, 5-star lawyers, because I Googled them before I go. And they read over the case, whatever they say. This is exactly their words. I'm not gonna take the case. There's a lot. But Mom, let me tell you something. If what I'm reading here, it's true, you have a big case in your hand.
Okay.
And I'm talking about 5-star lawyers.
Yeah. Yeah, but
What lawyer denies a case?
You don't have the money.
The resources is ridiculous.
You don't have the money, and I hate to say this, we don't have the advocacy groups to help us.
Right.
Because if it was any other groups, they would have all kinds of people backing them up.
I've went to I'm gonna tell you, like a good 7 to 8 lawyers during these 12 years. And what I told my son, I am not gonna keep giving my money away if nothing's being done.
Yeah. Yeah.
We gotta find the right person that fights this case.
There is.
We have the evidence, because the evidence is in black and white, written in court, by court, not me, by court. So they never came to me where my son lived with me and asked me, do you know what he told you about that night? To this day. They never came to find a gun that he was charged with.
I gotta ask you one curious question. This gentleman that died, and it's a shame, and we sympathize with the family of the victim here. Okay, he was shot, right?
Yeah.
How many times?
I believe it was, well, I want to tell you the report says, the first report that was given, they found 5 shell casings in the.
Was he shot 5 times?
No, he was shot, I think it was two or three.
2 or 3. Regardless, if it was one and they killed him, they killed him. Did they ever find a gun?
Never.
They never found the gun.
They did find 5 shell casings.
Yeah, but did any of the shell casings link fingerprints or anything to your son?
When we were in trial, they asked the DNA guys, did you guys do DNA on the shell casings? Their response was, isn't transcript. We didn't find it necessary. Okay.
So they found 5 shell cases. Your son not presently there.
Nope.
People saying he didn't do it. Yep. He was not there at the time.
At all.
He didn't have no gun. They got no weapon. But they find him guilty. And they were actually friends of his that said he didn't do it.
Right.
Wow.
But then
I hope you people are listening to this.
Then they were threatened in court. Like I said, I have transcripts. This is not coming from me. They were threatened in court or before going to court, to say, you better say he did the murder. If not, you guys have open cases, and I'm going to make sure you get locked up. And he did do it to one of them, one of the witnesses. Got locked up right there for not saying what he wanted him to say.
Okay. When your son was accused of this, did your son have any open cases?
No.
No.
Never, no.
This is the first time anything's ever happened?
First time.
I have one comment that says she needs a GoFundMe page to help her get a fair and the right lawyer.
You know that I tried that, and because of his case, they denied it. I don't know I don't know. I mean, I had to say what the money's for. So I did it, but because it has to do with court and stuff, they didn't want to say that they denied it. So, and that was years ago, about when it first started. So I don't know now if it's different or. Yeah, I tried it.
So the GoFundMe cases might have a rule in it that they don't take on cases like this.
Yeah. I mean, I'm speaking the truth. I said the truth when they asked you for a description, and I said, you know, what's going on, and they denied it. They said no because it has to do with court and whatever. So.
Okay. Well, you know, we'll go for other avenues. We need to look at advocacy groups.
And
You
this,
know, Latinos have been in this country for a long time. And I'm sure there's a Latino advocacy group somewhere out there. And some lawyers out there to be able to do something. Do we have another question? I know you picking because there's so many of them, but. Okay. Well, we're gonna look. You need to look into all this. We need to look into advocacy. Let me ask you this: did you try to reach any of the newspapers?
I tried. I actually did a whole story. Well, I told her the whole story for the Daily News, and I'm talking about maybe a good 12, so let's say 8 years.
You looking for me?
It's okay.
Okay. So you have a group that wants to help you fundraise now. Okay? All right. Tell Pastor Phil, thank you very much. And I will send her down to you so we can start. You can start helping her do some fundraisers.
Napkin.
All right. So now we got to figure out is anybody out there right now, because we're going to do research too, but I want the public to get involved here. Other than we're going to start doing some fundraisers. Can anybody tell me if they know of Latino advocacy groups to start taking this case on? Anybody? All right, now let's get back to the newspaper.
Okay.
While they figure that out.
Right.
So you went to the Daily News.
Yep. I told her the whole story, and I'm still waiting for somebody to get in contact with me.
Okay.
So.
How about the Inquirer? They're same owners.
No, I never went to the Inquirer. I only went to the Daily News.
Okay, so now the newspapers have ignored you too. Did you, by any chance, newspapers? Dang, we got so many people that have ignored this whole situation.
Yep. And it's like nobody can see it because I have two big banners in front of my home.
How about the Spanish television stations?
No, I spoke to 65 and the guy told me, oh, we'll be there. I'm waiting 10 years ago. This happened. I'm still waiting for him.
But these are Spanish
65. Channel 65. Channel
65. Yeah. Spanish 65 is Universal.
Yes,
right?
Univision.
How about Univision? How about what's the other one? Telemundo?
I actually think I have an email that I sent them. No response.
Nothing from the Spanish stations either. So this is what I need everyone that's calling in now to call in to everyone, to your city council people, get their number. To your state reps, get their number. To your newspapers, get their numbers. Bombard their phones. If you're supporting in any way of the Spanish TV stations and they're not paying attention, tell them that you're going to make sure you don't subscribe to their services anymore. Get to these people because that's the only way they're going to listen. If we start uniting as Latinos and say enough's enough and let's stand up to these clowns. Because I don't want to hear anymore that a politician makes a promise. Because if they're in there, they've been in there for 10, 15 years, trust me, they're aware of what's happening with Rosemary's son. And they keep promising and not doing. It's the same thing they do to everybody else. It's not going to get any better if you keep waiting for them to give you a stimulus check. Because a stimulus check's going to take you nowhere. Tell them you want a damn job. Tell them that your son and your grandson and your husband can pick up a damn trash bag. Let them make $15, $20 an hour. Go to City Hall and find out how many Latinos are working in City Hall now. Okay? You go to certain places, you got to wait for them to send an interpreter into the departments because there's no damn Spanish people working there. But these are the people that you vote for. We're going to take a break, another commercial break, and then when we come back, we're going to talk about how we can support Rosemary and what she's doing. Hello, everyone, and welcome to An Hour with Dave, a straight shooting talk show that doesn't hold anything back. You either love the show, hate the show, love me, hate me, doesn't matter, but it's the show you want to watch. 1 Hour with Dave. Welcome back, everyone. This is the last piece of the Hour with Dave, and I'm with Rosemary, and I am so glad that I'm here with her because Rosemary is part of a system that has failed us. Rosemary is part of a system that's failing Hispanics across the board. We are being used, and there's certain organizations, even Hispanic groups. Idea, did they interview you?
Never.
Idea, the biggest Latino newspaper in this city. Did you try to reach them?
Nope. I believe
You tried
I
to
did,
reach them,
but
and they didn't give you an answer. Okay.
and they passed through my home because Univision passes. They all pass in their cars. They see the banners.
But
see
they
them.
didn't help you.
No.
The biggest Latino newspaper, the two biggest Latino TV stations don't bother. None of the shows that are out here. This is a disgrace that we're allowing this to happen. How many people like Rosemary's son is caught in this situation? Because you're too damn stupid to get up. And I'm not sorry that I'm calling you people this. Because it's not fair that this woman doesn't get an answer. It's not fair that her son doesn't get an answer. Do I know if he's guilty or not guilty? No, because I wasn't there. From what I'm learning and from what everybody is sending me information on, they got the wrong guy. I would rather see satisfaction for the victim and his family if it's not Rosemary's son. Now, I want you, how old's your son?
Now he just turned 33.
What?
33.
33. That's
He got incarcerated
that's
when
about
he
the
had
same
just
age
turned
my
21.
son died. 33 years old. He's been in there for how long?
12 years.
12 years. I want you to tell me how many of you people out there listening to me now have a child after 18 years of age. Because anybody after 18 years of age can be railroaded just like this.
Yep. Yep.
And if you have grandchildren, if you're a grandmother or grandfather, if you're a parent, you better be careful. Because everything that's happened out here in the street, it's going to be easy for one of your kids to be caught up in something. We need resources, serious resources, not political people that are going to gain something from it. No. We need serious, not community organizations that are doing this, that are making money off it. No. We need real jobs, real resources for people so they don't get caught up in this shit. You realize out there, Hispanics right now, how many, they're predicting 70 to 80% of the kids in school today are going to be underserviced and in a failing status because the schools are closed. But they gave you $1,400 while they gave the school union billions while your kids are not getting properly educated. They didn't lose jack shit. You think the governor's kids are not going to school? You think the mayor's kids are not going to school? You think any of the kids in city council are not getting properly educated? You're really stupid if you think that. It's your kids that are not getting it. You have a mother with 3 kids trying to work, trying to survive, trying to keep education to 3 kids. It's impossible. They're setting your kids up for failure because they're going to keep them on welfare. They're going to keep them in mental health clinics. They're going to diagnose them with DDS or whatever SS they can give them. Give them a SSI check and a prescription so they have more votes than they need on the next election. You Latinos better wake the hell up. How much time we got left? Because I want to let Rosemary um, talk a little bit more. What do you want to tell the people? And by the way, guys, I'm gonna say it myself. I believe the DA worker that handled your son's case was Vega.
Yeah. Carlos Vegas.
Wake up. I don't know.
Vegas.
Carlos, you want to talk to me? We can talk. You can come on my show. You can give your side of the story. I'm not accusing you of anything. Rosemary is actually saying that she realized that it's the system. You played your cards. Okay? He got given a public defender who never seen him to the day of his trial. To the day of his trial, that public defender never saw her son. How is that a fair judgment on him? Who was your lawyer? Because I really want his name out here.
Michael Quartz.
Michael Quartz.
Yep.
Michael, you have the audacity to think you serviced that boy? You suck. You should be disgraced to think that that boy sat in prison for all them years and you never went to find out what was going on. Did you even read the first page of the document? You're a failure, dude. I hope you're hearing me, because you should answer to this woman today and to that child. It's not fair what you did, man. That boy's life was in your hands, and you failed to help him and give him the proper defense. Rosemary, say what you got to say, baby.
Okay, so what I have to say is I never expected for me to go through something like this, and now that I'm living it, this is like living in hell. So we do have to stick together as Puerto Ricans that we are. Let's put it that way. As Hispanics that we are. We got to stick together, because if it happened to me, and I never expected this to happen to me, it can happen to you, to your grandkid, to your brother, to your father, to your uncle, to whoever. And the system has failed my son, failed me, and to this day, almost 12 years later, I still don't have answers. And I don't know where to go. Now, let's see what's going to happen.
All right,
After
everyone.
today.
Here's what I want you all to do. If you understand, listen, there's a victim here too. Is it Vega's fault? Vega was doing his job, man. He was doing his job. Whether it was the right way to do it or the wrong way to do it, that's a whole different story. But he was doing his job. And if he did something wrong, that's the system and his boss that failed. Okay? If he was doing something different. But what we can do is we can start sticking together and say, let's help Rosemary. Let's make sure this is corrected. Let's get a fair trial. Or let's get this shit thrown out. And let's see what we can do to organize an organization to protect what's happening so it doesn't happen again.
Yep.
What was that? Okay. Do you have a website for your son?
I do. I have a page called A Mother's Cry for Justice. I have actually two. A Mother's Cry for Justice, and I also have the one for because we actually did a team. It's called Team Libertad on his honor. And, we're going around, like, this is his voice right here. And it says right here, he's been charged with a murder he did not commit. So everywhere we go to play softball, they ask us, what's going on? And oh my God, whatever you need, just let us know. We're support. So we've had a lot of support. We went to Puerto Rico, Santo Domingo, Florida. We're about to go to Florida in the next week or so to play softball. And just support Team Libertad. You guys are going to do a lot by supporting the team.
Okay. Well, that's how, say your social media site again. So
A Mother's Cry for Justice or Team Libertad.
Okay? I don't think this is the end of it. I definitely know this is not the end of it. We need to really support what's happening here. Wake up, people, please. Please stop sitting around and letting this happen.
Yes.
Thank you for tuning in. Thanks everybody for beginning. Please join me next Monday. I'm here every Monday at 2 o'clock, an hour with Dave. God bless you. God bless America. Let's stick together.
Amen.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to An Hour with Dave, a straight shooting talk show that doesn't hold anything back. You either love the show, hate the show, love me, hate me, doesn't matter, but it's the show you want to watch. 1 Hour with Dave.